Welcome to our online information session on how to complete an application to Peel Language Development School. My name is Tanya Rose and I am a member of the Speech Pathology team here at Peel Language Development School. We hope this presentation will provide you with relevant information regarding the referral process and answer some common questions about our school and service. I would like to start with an acknowledgement to country. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land where Noongar people performed age-old ceremonies of storytelling, music, dance and celebration, and where they cared for the lands and waterways. We acknowledge and pay respect to the elders past and present, and acknowledge those of the future, for they hold the memories, traditions and hopes for all Aboriginal Australians. Always was, always will be. In this presentation, we will provide you with information about Peel Language Development School and how we are different from a mainstream school. We will provide you with information on developmental language disorder, or DLD. We will discuss the referral process and the role of the school psychologist in this process, and provide you with information on accessing speech pathology services for your students. First, it would be great if you could please take the time to view our short 3-minute school video using the link provided on the screen or via our school website. This will provide you with a brief overview of our school and the services that we provide and allow you to meet some of the staff, including our principal, Fiona Forbes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just to summarise, language development schools or centres are government-funded primary schools providing specialised programs for students with a diagnosed primary developmental language disorder, or DLD. Language development schools are located on a dual campus alongside a mainstream school. Each school has its own administration, including its own principal. There are 5 language development facilities in Western Australia. Each caters for a particular region. At Peel Language Development School, we cater for students in kindergarten through to Year 3, and we have classrooms located at Rockingham Lakes Primary School, Bungaree Primary School, Mandurah Primary School, and Pinjarra Primary School. As the video touched on, a valuable part of our service to the education community is our statewide speech and language service. Each of the 5 language development facilities across WA have a speech and language service or outreach team attached to them. The Peel Language Development School team provide an outreach service to over 130 schools across the South Metro, South West and East Kimberley regions. The aim is to strengthen the language expertise available to students and provide greater support to schools and teachers through professional learning models and early intervention programs. So what is developmental language disorder, or DLD? Developmental language disorder is a diagnosis given when a child or adult has difficulty expressing and/or understanding language. It involves difficulties with spoken or oral language. It creates obstacles to communication at school, work, and in everyday life. It affects children and persists into adulthood, and it has no known cause. You may have also heard DLD referred to by a number of different titles, including specific language impairment, SLI, language learning impairment, LLI, or language delay. Developmental language disorder, or DLD, is now the preferred term for language difficulties that are severe enough to interfere with daily life, have a poor prognosis, and are not associated with any other biomedical etiology. So what is oral language? Language essentially involves 2 key components: receptive language, which is your understanding and receiving of information, and your expressive language, your ability to get your message across. This occurs in the oral, written, and visual domains. Individuals with DLD can have difficulty with either their expressive language skills, their receptive language skills, but most commonly difficulties are seen in both. When we talk about oral language, we are looking at 6 different areas or skills that all come together to help us be competent oral language users. The 6 areas of oral language are comprehension, the understanding of language; semantics, words and their meanings; grammar, includes the word structure and the way we organise words into sentences; pragmatics, our social use of language; oral text or narrative, the telling and retelling of a series of events; and phonological awareness, our knowledge of the sound structure of language. Each student who attends Pure Language Development School has an individual language plan which outlines specific goals that they are working on within each of the 6 areas of oral language. Speech, on the other hand, is the way that we pronounce our sounds. You may have also heard it being referred to as articulation or phonology. If a child has difficulty with their speech or articulation, perhaps they say tat instead of cat, or maybe they have a stutter or have been diagnosed with childhood apraxia of speech, this means that they have difficulties with their articulation of speech sounds. This doesn't also mean that they won't have difficulty with their oral language skills. A number of our students at Pure Language Development School fit into the middle part of the diagram on your screen, where they experience difficulties with both speech and language skills. I would now like to ask that you take a short break from this presentation and head over and view a short video on DLD that has been put out by Raising Awareness of Developmental Language Disorder, RADLD. RADLD is a movement of passionate academics, researchers, health professionals, educators and families from around the world who are committed to raising awareness of developmental language disorder. This video gives you a personal look at DLD by interviewing children, adults and their families. I hope you enjoyed the video. As you will have just heard in the video, DLD is more common than you think, with an estimated 7% of the population having DLD, compared with 3.2% of the population having ADHD and 0.7% of the population having ASD. The next 2 slides are provided as a guide to show you what typical language development looks like. This handout on your screen currently can be downloaded from the Speech Pathology Australia website, along with individual checklists for children in this age range. It may provide a quick indication, along with classroom data, about which students should be referred on for further services. In terms of development from 5 to 8 years of age, this period is defined by an expansion and refinement of language skills, approaching adult-like skills by 8 years of age. The development of literacy skills also typically coincides with this time. So by 8 years old, a typically developing child who has had adequate literacy instruction would be literate with adult-like speech and language. Development after this time is related to complexity. So how do you refer students to Pure Language Development School? Eligibility criteria is set by the Department of Education and is the same for all language development facilities. At Pure Language Development School, we accept applications for kindergarten, pre-primary and Year 1. The child must have a significant primary language disorder in one or more language areas as assessed by a speech pathologist. The child needs to demonstrate evidence of learning potential within the average or above average range. For pre-primary and Year 1 applications, an assessment by a psychologist is essential. For kindergarten applications, a paediatric assessment is highly recommended but not essential. The child also needs to demonstrate sound adaptive behaviour skills, as documented by observed descriptive evidence of the child's behaviour in his or her current educational placement or within his or her home. In order to attend a language development facility, a referral must be completed. As explained before, we are a government-funded primary school for students who have a primary language disorder. The referral process is a 3-part process. It includes a speech pathology assessment by either a community speech pathologist or a private speech pathologist that demonstrates receptive and/or expressive language difficulties, a cognitive assessment to ensure that there is no other impairment impacting on their language development for pre-primary and Year 1 referrals, and there is also a parent caregiver or teacher questionnaire that must be completed. Our school psychologist will now explain the role the psychologist plays in the referral process.
Thanks, Tanya. All school-age children also require a cognitive assessment as part of their referral to our service. Children with average or above average cognitive functioning combined with a language difficulty are eligible to apply. A non-verbally administered assessment is recommended as it measures the child's skills without as much impact from language as other assessments. Assessments are often completed at the child's school. Each school has a contact psychologist and a referral process to access their site. It is important to note that this is subject to the current workload or caseload and other demands that the school may have, and involvement of the psychologist requires parent or caregiver consent. Alternatively, these assessments can be completed privately by a psychologist in the community, and parents can speak to their GP, the child's teacher, or speech pathologist for more information. Non-government schools also have access to a psychologist who is able to complete the required assessments for an application. The psychologist also provides the teacher with referral checklists for their year level and completes a behavioural checklist, and will submit these forms together with their psychological report to the placement panel.
This year's closing dates for applications are currently displayed on the screen. Speech pathology services can be accessed through the public or private sectors. Public services do have a wait list, and it is important to refer any students that you are concerned about sooner rather than later. Families may also wish to investigate private speech pathology services, either instead of waiting for child development services or while they are on the wait list for CDS. Private speech pathologists can be found by searching www.pspawa.com.au. We are also more than happy to send you a list of private speech pathologists who operate within the Peel and surrounding areas. Families are also encouraged to discuss with their GP whether or not their child may be eligible for the Chronic Disease Management Scheme. If eligible, this allows the child to access 5 allied health sessions, with some of the cost being subsidised by Medicare. In order to access a speech pathologist through the public system, a referral needs to be completed. There is a link provided on your screen. You will also find a number of referrer checklists which will help you determine if a referral to CDS is appropriate. I hope you have found this information video useful. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact us via phone or email using the details currently on your screen. Thank you.